Support for the Red Dirt D&D podcast comes from Home Creations, Oklahoma City-based home builders with over 40 years of experience building new homes in the Oklahoma City metro. More, including financing options, virtual tours, and locations at homecreations.com.
Red Dirt RPG is proud to highlight the brand new T-Shirt of the Month Club from the Kobold Lounge.
Every month, artists from the lounge submit original designs. Their community votes, and the top 3 become limited edition shirts that are available only that month.
When you join the club, you choose your favorite shirt and have it delivered to your door, or pick it up at the lounge for a lower price. And one of the best parts? The local artists keep the rights to their work and earn royalties on every shirt sold.
Not into subscriptions? No problem. You can also buy a single shirt with no monthly commitment required. The newest lineup is open now and closes on the 1st of next month. Check out the current designs and order now at theoldkoboldpub.co.
So support indie artists, support your local gaming community, and roll a nat 20 on your t-shirt vibe every time. Join the Kobold Lounge's T-Shirt of the Month Club at theoldkoboldpub.co. That's theoldkoboldpub.co.
Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross and I play Elias Stone, a human cleric.
I'm Connor Shenold. I play Sable, a half-elf rogue.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play August E. Greymore, a human fighter.
I'm Carrie Hester, and I play Moxie, a tiefling bard.
And I'm Brooke Bullock, your DM. Please join us as we explore the curse of the Clockwork City. We start with a moment in the past. A moment in time we've seen before. A young Elias Stone, his breath ragged, his face streaked with ash and tears, is running into the desert, while behind him Gearport burns to the ground, while the banners of Baron Thaddeus Ironclad snap in the wind. Upon a black field, an iron red hammer over a crowned anvil, and the distant dwarven chants of Baron Thaddeus Ironclad's soldiers fill the air. We move through time and a handful of hushed children's voices echo gently off the stone halls of an enormous library, and the voice of Sister Ashford says,
At this orphanage, children, we will feed your bodies and your minds. With determination and knowledge, you can be almost anything you wish. Some of you could even one day be invited to attend the Calamera Medical Academy, or perhaps the Arcane Collegium.
For the first time since Gearport, Elias's world feels quiet instead of empty. As he looks at the shelves with awe, and the brow of a young adult Elias furrows in concentration, hands that once sparked with untamed magic now grind herbs and set bones and stitch flesh with practiced care. Blood's washed away, pain is eased. Instructors watch from a distance, exchanging nods. They see his brilliance, his precision, but also the sorrow etched deep behind his eyes. It's a loss that has both hollowed him, yet filled him with compassion. The seal of the Calamera Medical Academy is pressed into parchment. Dr. Elias Stone knows his future. A small clinic, probably in the lower parts of a town, a quiet life of service to those who need him most. But then, a part of his past returns. Elizabeth Steele, a classmate from Gearport. Red hair catching the light like a fiery sunset, green eyes impossibly alive. In her gaze, Elias sees a different future, one he didn't know he still wanted. They speak into the night, candlelight flickering as she tells him of how the ironclad regime started by grinding towns into obedient dust. But now there's a resistance, a rebellion, even a chance of restoring what was lost. She shows him a torn emblem on a scrap of captured cloth, a crowned anvil under an iron red hammer on a field of black. We have a montage. Elias on battlefield, sleeves rolled to the elbow, hands slick with blood as he drags the wounded to safety, learning to work under fire, learning how long a person can scream before they go quiet. Between battles, we have other stolen moments, shared laughter, shared fear, a quiet wedding, Far from the front, no banners, no speeches, just two people clinging to hope in a world determined to crush it. 10 years pass in flashes of steel and smoke. 10 years, and now one last secret strike. One of the Baron's last weapons caches in the southeast, stacked wall to wall with crates, bearing the crown and iron hammer. Destroy it, and the ironclad supply lines will be shattered. The coastline of southeast Tanveril can be free of fear. After avoiding numerous snares, hazards, and pitfalls befitting a treasury, the strike team entered the weapons vault, stacked nearly floor to ceiling with crates bearing the ironclad emblem of anvil and hammer.
Simultaneously, as the team popped open the first crates, I heard Elizabeth's voice scream, "Trap!" and felt myself shoved sideways just as the crate exploded, fire and steam. Another explosion, and another. Bodies thrown into the air. Smoke, ruin, filled my chest and eyes, ears ringing, heart pounding. Elizabeth, where? Crawling. I see her. Most of her's buried amidst debris and rubble. Her body, where mine should have been before, was shoved. Elizabeth. Her eyes flutter open. A soft smile pulls at the corners of her mouth, and then she coughs blood. Her eyes look past me into eternity. She dies in my arms, having sacrificed herself to save me. Dwarven battles drums sound. Orders are shouted by rebel commandos. Retreat is called. I'm refusing to go. They drag me away anyway. My world once again shattered by the banner of Baron Thaddeus Ironclad.
And now, in the waiting area of Bridgetown Medical, we see Dr. Elias Stone. In his hands is a confiscated dwarven doublet, threadbare and faded. Still visible is the crowned anvil and iron red hammer of Baron Ironclad in its once proud stitching, worn nearly to nothing. Dr. Stone, as this memory has poured into your mind, what's your facial expression? What's going on here? Anybody might notice as you're waiting there in the waiting area with your friends, you've got Edward Gutking presumably tied down in the other room.
Right, well I think we're in the operating room.
Okay.
And we've got him tied down. I turn to Moxie, I say, Moxie, I can't do this.
You know, I was gonna suggest that maybe you go take a breather out in the courtyard, and August and I can see. We'll update you if there's any important information. Yeah, why don't you go have a little rest?
And the patch is on. Where is the patch?
It's like on the double, like on the shoulder or whatever.
Okay. I say, yeah, I think this is best for you to handle. And I reach over and I grab that patch and I just rip it off and walk out with that in my hand, clutched in my hand.
Where's Sable at? Is he here in the same room? Is he right outside guarding? What's he doing?
Leaning up against the wall, watching Moxie and Dr. Stone have this conversation. And as Dr. Stone leaves the room, I'll kind of share a pointed look over at August, kind of are you ready to begin this interrogation?
Oh yes.
And I'll press off against the wall and, well, we should wake him up soon, but Moxie, before we do that, how about you make him more suggestible first?
You know, I was leaning that way, and I just think, boys, this would be a really great time to remember our humanity, right? We're not here to rip people's fingernails off for information. We'll get the information. Let's just hold on to some dignity. I'm all for this man is a criminal. He's the reason that there is the soul of a young boy trapped inside a sad little automaton, okay? There's lots of dead people. He is bad. He will meet justice, but I think maybe deciding that we are the ones meant to dispense that justice might be a lot. Also, I don't know how that would make Dr. Stone feel. It might make him feel really great, which could be great, or it could be concerning,
Moxie.
or it might send him into a depression.
Moxie, if you can't handle what we're about to do, then you can join Dr. Stone.
We can question this man. We can get information from him. I just don't think that it's appropriate for us to lose our humanity in the process. I will step out if I need to. I'll leave it at that.
Well,
I just needed to say my piece.
We'll let him decide how he wants this interrogation to go. But again, if you could assist in making him more suggestible, that makes this all the more easier, and we won't have to resort to too much violence.
While she is preparing to do this, I casually stroll past Sable, kind of around back behind him, and quietly say, she had me right up until trapped the soul of a child.
Okay, so I will go ahead and I don't know if he has to be conscious. It doesn't say.
I was kind of thinking that
But I
he'd
think
be
he
more
would need to be conscious.
susceptible.
I think he would need to be conscious to hear the command.
Okay.
Well, it's what unconscious. What is the thing? What does it say?
Suggestion.
What's it say?
It just says you suggest a course of activity described in no more than 25 words to one creature you can see within range that can hear and understand you. So,
Well, we can start to wake him up, and then you do it. But also, before we begin this, kind of what is our line of questioning?
that is a great question. We should plan our questions.
What is the one thing
What do we want to,
that
what is our
Moxie
goal here?
/ Kiri wants to know?
There's too many loose ends in this, Brooke.
Tell me everything.
This is like when you hit like season 2 of Lost and there's polar bears and there's bunkers and you want to know all the answers. Okay, so
I don't want to guide you too much, but I know there's one thing that you just cannot wait to figure out.
I need to figure out how the whole dismembering people is like, I don't understand how the two criminal plot lines are connected, right? We know Zaylin Pierce is involved. We don't know how. We know Zaylin Pierce is in, we can connect him to the dismembering of children, but we can't connect him directly to the spider cult. There are hints at how the at least the prosthetic limbs of the spider cult are connected, but we don't know exactly how that works scientifically, so to speak.
Yeah.
Arcanely. So I think my big things that I would love for us to figure out in this interrogation are, and we can come up with a better way to say this, but what are Zaylin Pierce's end goals, and how is what is happening contributing to those end goals?
I think that's pretty much right there.
Yeah.
That's got it right there, because that's going to answer all our questions, I think.
What is his end goal, and how does the dismembering of children and the spider cult fit into the end goal?
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing the plot line here.
I think this is where we find out. Any loose ends you have, this is where we find them out.
I am going to go ahead and burn both of my remaining second level spells, and I'm going to do a 2 here since we're not in initiative. And I'm going to cast Bane on him and then cast Suggestion. So now he has to subtract a d4 from his roll, and it's a Wisdom saving roll 16, aka anti-guidance. Or anti-bless.
Yeah.
These dwarves keep being so wise. It's
Well,
really screwing
I'm
with me.
hoping if Brooke would allow him disadvantage because he's just now waking up.
Typically, while he's unconscious, you could cast Bane.
Yeah.
And I would suggest, although it just says strength and dexterity because we're talking about usually in combat. But if you are unconscious, I would think your wisdom, any saving throw,
You know how it is when you're first waking
would
up.
be unconscious. Yeah. So I would say, can we make that Bane at disadvantage?
I like it.
Oh, so in order to see if Bane checks, you got to make a charisma saving throw at a 16. And if Bane hits, then that's going to affect how your wisdom saving throw goes.
True. So you want,
But he's unconscious, so it automatically succeeds, doesn't it?
could you cast it on someone that...
Yeah, he doesn't have to be able to
He doesn't
hear
have
me.
to be.
That's true.
And would he even be able to?
Because he wouldn't
Yeah.
know that it was being cast on him, so
Right.
therefore his
I
mental
You
will
wouldn't have
say-
any
wouldn't
resistance
be
to it.
Right.
up.
Yeah.
I will say once, however, we have to, Michael Rules Lawyer, Suggestion and Bane are both
They're both
concentration.
concentration, so you couldn't do both.
But Bane
yeah.
wouldn't work for that first, as I'm casting.
Would one go trade out for the other, and it's there for
Wow,
just
that's
a moment?
that's a DM.
Also,
so what you're
Pearl
saying
of
is,
Power?
While he's waking up.
do you have a pearl of power?
Wait, no, I have a Pearl of Charisma stuff.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that yeah.
Off brand.
You have an Iron Stone of...
You have an iron
Yep.
stone or something. So what I was thinking was, okay, so you cast Bane on him while he's asleep. That it's an automatic failure because he's asleep. As he's waking up, you cast Suggestion that will drop your concentration on Bane, but he's still under it for that 6
Second,
seconds.
while we're
Yes.
switching
It
over.
has to
That
take
makes
effect
perfect
before the
sense.
concentration
Right,
triggers.
that's what I
Right.
thought.
Being concentrated by this one as this spell's hitting him, and it hit,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
how I look at it.
Yeah.
That's how I look
So
at it,
he'd
too.
just be at a negative. So I would say -4 on the Suggestion.
I'll once again look to August, make sure that he's ready and prepared, and then I will slap him awake. And as I do that, Moxie, once he seems to be more alert, Moxie will do.
Yeah, so the bane happens while he's unconscious. Sable comes over, slaps him around a little bit. It starts to wake up, and then you hit him with suggestion.
So my suggestion here is, I get 25 words. Answer our questions completely and honestly, including tangential information that might be helpful for the next 8 hours, and be nice about it. That's 24 words.
That's amazing! That's absolutely amazing. So, roll the 1d4. What's the bane?
Oh, sure, I can roll it. 3.
A 3. So I have to subtract that from the 2 that I rolled on the dice.
So -1.
Wait, he's got an adjustment.
I'm sure he's got a wisdom. +3 wisdom.
But I bet it's probably not a plus 13
Probably not.
to his adjustment. So, yes, the suggestion is like, ugh, ugh, and he glares and looks around. Well, guess I lost.
Guess you did.
I'm glad you retained your sense of humor.
Now, tell us about what your cult was fully getting up to.
We are, and you can see him resisting, right?
Not resisting very well with the 2.
No, exactly right. Exactly right. And there's a long pause, and then he says, It started with power. She brought us power when all the other gods were silent. And how could you resist a voice that spoke when you hadn't heard any of the divine for so long?
Who's she?
Veranex.
And she's a goddess?
Yes.
A goddess of what?
Veranex is the goddess of knowledge and the arcane and darkness and death.
And she spoke to you and she offered you power and she said, here's how you can do power, right? Is that what you're saying? Am I hearing you correctly?
And there's that shimmer of resistance. Yeah.
And so you and your buddies were like, we're gonna do this, right?
The Iron Spire had turned its back on the dwarves who came and helped to build that city, to build the walls. And then once we were finished, they outcast us. We didn't get a place in Iron Spire like they promised.
You know, I can sympathize with that, but that doesn't mean that you can turn into an evil villain.
You said it started out for power. What is it now?
We're trying to keep control of it. It's become darker ever since Zalen's entered the picture. Ever since Zalen's entered the picture, he's seeing something different.
How did Zalen first get interested in what you guys were getting up to, trying to get the dwarves a foothold in the city?
The Grotto of Greylife, the temple. It's a waypoint. It's a thinning. It's probably how Veranex was able to first talk to us. It's an easy place to reach the ether. And when Zalen reached out to us and gave us a safe place to go when the city turned us that way, Zalen gave a few of us comfort and safety. He helped us find a way to stay down below, and even some of us in Iron Spire in secret. But when he found out about how easy it is to get ether from the grotto, then he wanted to see it himself. He wanted to mine it and use it, and he did, and then he sold it to the airship companies and others for power, and Iron Spire prospered and he became rich. But those things gather people's attention. Things attention. Veranex isn't the only one in the ether.
So, before Zalen Pierce entered the picture, what was the end goal of you and the other dwarves?
We just wanted a place. We were perfectly content to find a way to prosper here in Iron Spire, but the humans made it so hard.
So your end goal was to get someone on the council, or what?
I didn't even think that far
Yeah,
ahead.
it sounds like you guys you had concepts of a plan.
Why stay in Iron Spire and not head to New Crucible or other dwarven settlements? Sure, you helped build here, but what kept you here?
We couldn't go back. Most of these dwarves that came were, and he struggles really hard again, were AWOL from the army of Baron Thaddeus Ironclad.
So, Zaylen Pierce joins up with you guys, and he starts pushing you in a new direction. What's Zaylen Pierce's end goal?
And you see this come more naturally, like he's
ready to rat out
something,
Zaylen
that's
Pierce.
that's kind of there a little bit. He says, Zaylen's greed got the better of him. He came down to the grotto. He started harvesting the ether. It attracts attention from things. And a horde of phase spiders came through and slaughtered half of our people. Because of so much Zaylen had done for me, I defended him, and he cost me my leg.
You have no prosthetics on you, what do you mean?
It was something that I thought I was gonna die for. And that's when Varanex, her power came through, drove back the phase spiders. I was able to heal myself partially, and then slowly my leg regrew.
I have in my notes, and it's fun because I flipped right to it, that Varanix's names were Lady of Shadow and Spinner of the Deep.
Yes.
So...
She's also a spider?
Yeah, what do I glean by having that name Spinner of the Deep and being essentially their spider queen? Why would she drive off the face spiders?
Yeah.
Is there like a knowledge check I can roll to maybe
you
glean?
could. Yeah, you could see if you could figure it out yourself.
Pop your head out. Hey, Dr. Stone, how much do you know about spider religion?
Yeah. I'll just do a straight intelligence. Nope, that's a natural one.
If it's confusing to you, you could always ask.
Yeah. Some of Varanix's names are Lady of Shadows and Spinner of the Deep. Why would she command the phase spiders? One, to attack, and then two, not.
They were just doing their job. They were just defending, right? When my lady realized it was me that was there as well, I think that's why she called them back and pulled them off. I think that's why she added power to me so that I could take care of myself and heal myself.
Were these other dwarves not devout enough?
Maybe. He says that kind of magic, it's very high level, the ability to bring people back once they're gone.
Does this feel more like warlock magic or cleric magic?
He's seeming to kind of blending the two, like it, right? It seems kind
Not
of be
quite one, not quite the other.
blending the two. If you had to choose, you'd say it's more warlock-esque.
So with all of Zaylen's machinations about how he's going about this,
Wait!
Why bring children into it?
He also didn't answer my question. I said, what's
can
Zaylen
circle
Pierce's end goal? And then you said he's greedy. That's not an end goal.
That is an end goal.
It is in a way, yeah. So with those two main things kind of like rapid fire happen right after each other, and he says, they became one and the same. Once Zaylen saw the power that I was bestowed, he wanted it himself as well. He wanted that type of connection, but the deep didn't answer him back for a long time. I think he found something different, darker, deeper on his own. His power is mirrored in Varanax, but not the same.
Like Varanax's evil twin?
This might be a moment that you want to be sure and talk to Dr. Stone about later, right? Because it's a question you don't have the answer to. So he says, how do you get more evil like her evil twin? There are multiple things in the ether. The ether takes you places. The ether allows you to go between worlds as well as on the same plane. And whatever it was that Zaylen connected to wants to be here, and started whispering to him about gateways and release, and that if she had sacrifice, if we could get enough souls contained, if he could get enough souls contained, then he could release them at once and open up some doorway for this other to come in.
I already know the answer to this, but I want to hear you say it. What is he containing the souls in?
He's found a way to connect automatons.
Follow-up question, what does this have to do with the prosthetics?
Those, and he hinders again, right? Those are a cover, right? you can trap part of a soul in the ether power, and people who are connected with it don't know what they're harboring.
So you put 5 prosthetic arms and 5 children, and you could put 1/5 of each of a soul in each arm?
You can have 5 souls in each one, and then you bring them to the ceremony, and you'll sacrifice both.
So here's a question. As far as your knowledge is concerned, how many deaths is Zaylen Pierce responsible for?
And you actually see, like, his eyes well up, and he's like, I don't know.
Give me an over-under. We're talking 100,
How close to
1,000,
his goal
a million?
is he?
It's over 20 for sure.
And how many souls does Zaylen Pierce need to trap before he can open this gateway?
That I don't know, but he's close.
What were you guys doing in the temple when we rolled up?
The temple down below?
Yeah.
There's still a true faith of Varanax, and I'm trying to recover that amongst my handful of people. Zaylen has corrupted things, and he's leading them down a path of evil and horror. He's not listening to the true Varanax.
But the people in the temple that we were just in, that supposedly were part of your true Varanax religion, were sucking the souls out of Shiva victims and putting them in automatons.
Zaylen's got control of them now. He thinks that by opening up this gate, he's lied to them, and that they are going to bring in some new order where power can be restored to those of us who have been living down here for so long in shadows.
So you're telling me that you are the one true prophet of Varanax, but the followers aren't listening to you, they're listening to Zaylen Pierce, and you are just letting them continue on with their soul-sucking endeavors?
Oh, we're outnumbered now. He has his own people too. He's recruited from the humans above.
Right, but you also weren't actively trying to stop them.
They're not gonna listen to a dwarf, these humans in Ironspire.
There were no other humans in there. Well, there were dwarves in there. You were not stopping the dwarves. The dwarves were sucking souls. You didn't say nothing. You were just letting them do it. You weren't stopping them. We stopped them. 2 humans, a half-elf, and a tiefling stopped them. You could have stopped your own people. You could have smashed those machines just as well as we did.
But then Zaylen will know we're onto him.
What would have your final act against him have been? If you were too cowardly to stop it?
And he resists so hard. And then he says, at the moment of sacrifice to bring in this other power, that's when we'll strike against Zaylen.
You and
You and what army?
And he chuckles, and then kind of, he chuckles, and sarcastically he's like, we used to have a few more.
Follow-up question. You know that Zaylen Pierce was plotting to sow chaos in the city, and you didn't tell anybody? Just the dwarves you were trying to bring over to your true religion?
We don't need to save Ironspire. We just need to find a way for us to get what we deserve.
We don't need to save Ironspire, but then why do you want to stop Zaylen Pierce? Just because he's taken your religion, people? So you don't care if Zaylen Pierce gets this guy out as long as people are also in your religion?
And then you see a little bit of passion in him, and he's like, he's hurting children.
No, I know.
And you were okay with that.
You have to sacrifice some so that you can entrap the biggest villain.
I have bad news for you, Edra. I think you're a few marbles short of a sack. There is no logical thinking here. You have been deceived. What do you know about Zaylen Pierce's plans to open this gate? Where is it happening? When is it happening? Who's gonna be there? How can we stop it?
It's soon, very soon. The last automatons that you all disrupted in the temple, those were gonna be the guards that were going to accompany the sacrifices.
So he already has enough souls for the sacrifices?
He's very, very close. He must be.
Well, because I smashed the machine, so I don't know how he's gonna suck more souls out of people. Does he have a second soul-sucking machine?
No.
Okay, so we're done here.
Well, he could, in desperation, attempt to force the ritual to go through.
I mean, I know, but that was a good joke. Okay, so soon, where is he set up at?
He's going to go to some ruins in the Haunted Isles.
You know, I've been meaning to get out there. I hear they make a great Mai Tai. So there's some ruins out on the Haunted Isles, and he's gonna open up a gateway for this freaky spider god to come through. And then they're gonna Godzilla wreak havoc on the city. That's what my understanding, yeah? Okay, so that's where, when, who's gonna be there? Besides Zaylen, Pierce, and the sacrifices.
Who got the Evite?
Yeah, who got the Evite?
It's just the cult as far as I know.
How many people are in the cult as far as you know?
Things have happened recently that haven't been very nice.
Right, you're welcome.
Originally, there were 25 of us, 18 of them humans recruited by Zaylen into the faith.
Backtracking. What does Shiva have to do with all of this? I'm pretty sure I know, but I want to hear you say it.
Shiver thins the spirit and makes it susceptible, makes it open. It's easier to harvest them and pull them in. It also seems to keep the phase spiders at bay. They
Very well.
meaning that it seems to keep the phase spiders at bay.
Like distracted?
They, like in a pheromone type of way, they don't see them as prey.
Okay, so the face spiders aren't, all that does kind of track, because when we were attacked by face spiders, they didn't attack the Shiva victims, they attacked us. So if you put a regular person in the soul sucker machine, it has a higher rate of failure than if you put a Shiva addict in the soul sucker machine.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I wasn't completely wrong when I said that they were using the Shiva to amp up magic somewhere. Okay, so who got the Evite? We're down to 18 plus Zaylen Pierce, Haunted Isles. Do you know where the ruins are specifically in the Haunted Isles, or is there like a big save point where we can find it?
I don't.
It's fine, we'll ask some mermaids. What does all of this have to do with the corrupt guards and Zaylen Pierce's seemingly ambitious plans to become king? Are those part of his plan?
He laughed. No, I don't know that Zaylen intends to be king.
He's just gonna be like a millionaire?
And the guards are just because you need to be able to control how much people snoop in a city.
So Zaylen Pierce is the 1% that benefits from controlling the ruling party, but doesn't want to actually be the ruling party because that's work.
Or at least not ruling party as far as king.
Well,
he might be interested in ruling.
Why become king when you can potentially become a god?
Ding, ding. Yeah.
He's Jafar!
So I got a question. And all of a sudden you see from behind the curtain where Dr. Stone had not actually left. He just didn't want to be in the room. And I walk over with the banner. Yes. And I say, what does all this have to do with Baron Thaddeus Ironclad?
Ironclad is a warlord. He's power hungry in his own way. You know, some 50 years ago, he pours out onto the surface in the south. Most, but not all, of the dwarves that came to help Ironspire build their wall at a time whenever most of the natives of Tanvarel didn't welcome your kind. It's because they had gone AWOL from Thaddeus's army. My parents were some of those, and they brought me to Ironspire with them.
So why are you wearing his colors?
They wear them because it's the clothes that we had. It doesn't mean, the patch doesn't mean anything to most of us now.
You know what this patch means to me? This patch was all I saw the night my parents were killed. This is all I saw when we fought his forces in the mountains, when my wife died. This is the image I saw on the crates when it exploded and killed her. So why are you wearing his colors?
Natural one. As you can see, like you can read him going through the Rolodex of lies. You can see him trying to figure out some way, anyway, to say something.
Right. But I told him to answer honestly, completely,
Yep.
and to give us tangential information.
Yeah.
You can just see that him trying to think of something and then it just pours and he's like, dwarves can be a patient people and we will retake the coastline of Tanvarel someday.
So how long have you been with Baron Ironclad?
And you know that he is kind of a middle-aged dwarf of about 250 or so, right? And he says, "My parents and family have served him for centuries."
Were you there? Were you there at Gearport 50 years ago?
And he has this smirk on his face and says, "It fell really easily, didn't it?"
This is where Moxie's gonna leave the room.
Yeah, you see shocking grasp start to boil around his hand. If you've got something to say, you better pull him away.
Is all questioning done?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Because I think August has the same plan that you do. Which is
So
awesome.
before you say you're going to leave, when I see your hand light up, Moxie, you may want to leave the room.
I wanted to kind of have this moment where Moxie reads the room, realizes that that's where it's going, and she removes
She
herself
goes out,
because
yeah.
she said that she would remove herself.
That's what I figured. You've already left.
Right.
That's why she left, because we're about to do stuff.
It fell really easily, didn't it? Were you in Gearport 50 years ago? It fell really easily, didn't it? That is what Moxie takes as her cue and walks out of the building and will stand in front of the building until she is summoned.
Good. She's gone now. Sable, get ready to untie him. And I've had my hand up this whole time, sort of in Dr. Stone's direction. I turn to Dr. Stone and say, "You can stay or you can go, but it might change mine and yours relationship." And I reach down to my waistband and I pull up my gloves, and they're the perfect, pristine, clean ones. And I put them away, and I reach on the other side and pull up the bloody ones.
The ones
and start
from
to
Reynard.
put them on while I'm slowly circling him, because I want to talk to him about children.
I let the electricity go, and I look him in the eye, and I say, "Ashton Stone, that was my father. Claire Stone, that was my mother. Elizabeth Stone, that was my wife. Remember them." And I walk out.
I'm going to go up, and I'm going to make a slice where his shoulder and his arm meet on both sides. Finish untying him.
I step forward and untie the rope from around him. He's all yours.
You and I are going to discuss children, and I will grab a wrist with one hand and an elbow with another and brace my foot against his side and start pulling where the cut across his shoulder and arm meet.
Red Dirt D&D, Curse of the Clockwork City is Brooke Bullock as our Dungeon Master, Kiri Hester as Moxie, Connor Shenold as Sable, Johnny Payne as August E. Graymore, and I'm Michael Cross as Dr. Elias Stone. Our theme music comes from Ovani Sound. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Jeffrey McBride, Monument Studios, Describe.com, and TabletopAudio.com. Dice for the Red Dirt D&D cast provided by ST Way Gaming. You can find us at reddirtdnd.com. If you are enjoying Red Dirt D&D, make sure to subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/reddirtdnd at whatever giving level works best for you. Join us next time as we discover more secrets in the Clockwork City.
Are you enjoying the show and want a little more? Become a Patreon and unlock the outtakes starting at just the $5 tier. They're loaded with goofy moments and behind-the-scenes banter that we couldn't fit into the episode.
Keep up to date with the coolest geek shenanigans in Oklahoma when you listen to the Okie Geek podcast. Stay in the know about upcoming conventions, comic books, and the nerdiest happenings in the Panhandle State. That way you don't miss out on things like live Mario Kart, Wizard comics, or board game conventions. Search for Okie Geek on the NPR app or wherever you get podcasts.